Master, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. It was a chance encounter that led to divine appointments. I met her in Big Sur. She had hiked the John Muir Trail 2 times, and I had always wanted to. I did not know that she was crazy until I got on the trail. The first day on the trail, we get to a camp the same time as these 2 gentlemen. And they said, "Do you guys mind if we camp here?" And I said, "No, go ahead." And she said, "No," at the same time. I thought, this is not a good way to start a 30-day trip. That day, well, I made friends with these 2 gentlemen, and they were from Mammoth. And as we were leaving at daybreak the next day, they're like, "Bye, Vicki, have a great trip. If you're ever in Mammoth, look us up." I said, "Okay." We get down the trail, and she turns around and looks at me and says, "We better come to an understanding. You do not invite anyone into camp until we discuss it." And I said, "Oh, well, I didn't invite them into camp. If my car was at the trailhead, I would be leaving right now." That day, we're hiking along. We go over Donahue Pass, and her front tooth starts to bother her. So she just pops that tooth, sticks it in her pocket, and I went, "I think there's something in the psychology books about that one." Well, a few days go by, and I've decided that I can't wait to be done with the John Muir Trail. A dream of mine all my life. I was very disappointed, but I began to make the best of it. I'm going to meet friends, and I did. I made lots of new friends along the way. At the John Muir Trail Ranch, which is a private ranch in the middle of this beautiful wilderness, and is owned by these old ladies. She's like 90-something. And so Miss Susie comes out and meets me, and as we're getting some food for the trip that we needed, Lee is stuffing her face with food out of this bin. And I go, "Oh my gosh, what do I do?" Miss Susie walks up to me and says, "Honey, you really need to lose that one. She's sick." And I said, "I know, Miss Susie, but I'm sharing my tent with her and my stove, so I can't." Well, that evening, I'm sitting around, I'm cooking my dinner in my little stove, in my little pot, on my little rock, in my kitchen. And she walks up, naked as a jaybird, and starts eating my food. And I looked at her and I said, "Go put some clothes on." And she walked away and she called me a prude. I was like, oh, I thought I was going to die at this point. Well, a few days go by. I'm counting the days. I'm counting. I have like 6 days left on the trail with this lady. At Tully's Hole, I'll never forget Tully's Hole. It was cold. Cold wind blew. I didn't sleep well. The next day, she's up at daybreak, letting the air out of her mattress. Shh. And I'm like, I didn't sleep well. I'd like to sleep a little longer. I'm not ready to get up. 5 minutes later, she comes and says, "So, where's the lighter?" And I said, "Well, the lighter is in the first aid kit where it's always been for the last 3 weeks." So 5 minutes later, it's coffee time. So, all right, I suppose I'm getting up. I get up. She has her backpack totally packed, ready to go. And I'm still scared. everywhere. I haven't even brushed my teeth that day. So I look at her and I say, I'm not ready to go yet, lady. And she said, I ought to just run off and leave you. And out of my mouth came these words, you have got to be the meanest, nastiest, rudest old woman I have ever met in my life. And then I stood there and went, this actually came out of my mouth. I actually said that to someone. Wow. She looked at me and off the mountain she went. I caught up with her at Lake Virginia, the most beautiful mountain lake, you know, where the water's so clear and the mountains reflecting in the water. And there's rocks and trees and little birds. It's beautiful. And she walks up to me and she says, you better apologize or you won't get your tent back. Well, I thought about apologizing until she did that. And I said, no, I don't think so. At which point, she slugged me in the face with her fist, full fist, slug, in the face. She had both fists up, going, come on, sister. And I thought about it. I wanted to just knock her other tooth out. There was this side of me that said, I heard in the recesses of my mind, Vicki, nothing good ever comes from fighting. And I thought, is that my mother? My grandmother? A teacher? Well, she left me on the trail, and I came across many more divine appointments that helped me that day, including John and Thomas, who I met the first day on the trail. Thank you very much.